Hello, welcome back to Vox Terra. So you might have noticed by now, depending how long you've been concerned about climate change and the excessive burning of fossil fuels, that the media typically fails to connect the dots between extreme weather and climate change. So we have to do that in order to create the political will to change. So to that end, I will cite from an article from the Guardian News, offer some commentary and some recap. The Guardian News. This season is off the charts. Colorado fights the worst wildfires in its recent history. By Stephen Miller. Friday, the 30th of October. The two largest wildfires in Colorado history, the Cameron Peak and the East Troublesome Fire, were descending on Rocky Mountain National Park, reaching towards each other with a mere 10 miles of bone-dry forest between them. Quoting from the article, "When the land is as dry as it has been in the state, an errant spark can cascade into disaster." See? When the land is as dry as it has been. Now think about the climate denier arguments put out there by the denial industry and repeated by so many. Big wildfires typically correspond with droughts, and this year is no exception. Nearly half of Colorado is currently in extreme drought. So when we hear of these people who are parroting the language of the denial industry, by that I mean, language that's coming from these think tanks that are funded by largely petrochemical fossil fuel interests like Koch Industries, when we hear these arguments, they like to deflect attention onto forest management. And I'll get back to that at the end. The sliver of truth in the forest management article. But look, the West is in drought. The West has been having droughts, and it's not just California, which they love to focus on. It's all the West, and it's actually worldwide. I'll get back to that too. Across the American West, fire seasons are now 78 days longer than they were in the 1970s, according to the U.S. Forest Service. And I've also cited that one to the Union of Concerned Scientists, a really terrific environmental organization you should check out if you haven't. And I've cited for you before this must-know NASA fact. Since the 1980s, the wildfire season has lengthened across a quarter of the world's vegetated surface. A quarter of the world's vegetated surface. Keep that fact in mind when people hit you with, "Oh, California's doing it all wrong." Look, it's not just California, it's the world's vegetative surface. But that's coming from NASA, not this Guardian article. Back to the Guardian. The long season is characteristic of what scientists expect from climate change, the overarching force that is driving more severe wildfires in the region, and its implications extend beyond fires. This next quote is a great one to keep in mind. "These fires are burning forests at high elevations, elevation that very rarely got hot and dry enough to burn." So you see, keep this concept in mind, right? The world is getting drier in some parts, and it's hotter, so wildfire range and season have spread. Areas catch on fire now that never used to. And it's vast tracts of wilderness. It's also scrubland. It's not just areas with managed forests. So here's a basic breakdown. The heating planet is causing hotter air. Hotter air masses, as I said before, retain more moisture. They pull more moisture out of the soil and out of the air and out of the water. So you either get these very dry conditions or you get heavy rainfalls, which become flooding. Additionally, as I mentioned, the poles have heated up more than the rest of the planet. So that's messing with the jet stream, which is the natural circulation from equator to pole. So therefore, air masses can now linger longer, just sit there dry, or wet. The overall hotter conditions are not killing off bark beetles out west like they used to. So the forests are becoming sicker. Additionally, out west in the American West, the snowpack is melting earlier because of the earlier onset of spring, also leading to dry conditions. Now the problem regarding forest management, well, these denial influencers try to use that argument to spin and deflect and misdirect, but look, Here's the reality about forest management, or one of them. And it's actually a reality that environmentalists are the ones trying to draw attention to. It's something called the oversuppression of wildfires. So as development is spread into previously forested, untouched areas, and there's been more managed forests for timber and lumber, the U.S. Forest Service has an incentive to just put out those fires immediately to protect the value of that timber and to protect the value of the property, those neighborhoods, and people's lives. So in the opinion of a lot of ecologists and it's whatnot, they've been over-suppressing wildfires. So that's been allowing for this fuel buildup. So you've got this fuel buildup, and that's what they talk about when they talk about forest management, but really that fuel buildup is because of the suppression of wildfires. And everything's just drier in these areas because of this heating planet. And the forests are sicker because of the heating planets allowed the spread of these bark beetles. Hey, I hope you found this helpful. And remember, we can't keep letting the media ignore these extreme weather events and not tie them back to climate change. We've got to do it. And that's what I'll try to do for you. So please smash that like button, as they say, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and comment, like, and as I said that one already. And until next time, peace be with you.